All right, g'day, Mat, Lachlan.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. I don't even know what number we're up to, but we're gonna get in and we're gonna do it. We're gonna make this one a little bit of a quicker podcast.
Yeah, I think we're on episode 12. We've had a couple of big
12?
ones now.
Yep.
Last
nice.
one was a big episode.
That was a big one. Yep.
Got to get through and get some of the new stuff done.
Yeah. Well, we still have some meat and potatoes in here, but welcome to 2024. This year is going to be an interesting year. It's going to be a great year. And we'll go through some of the news. But one of the things that we're noticing with 2024 are the reports that are coming out talking about how the car market for buying a car is turning from a seller's market to a buyer's market.
Yeah, okay. I'm not sure if I've seen this yet, but I'm pretty interested. I'm sure we're going to talk plenty about that throughout the show. So, what else have we got on the docket today?
So we're going to talk about, we got CES is happening at the moment, so some cool things coming out of there. We're going to talk about some US trucks. We're going to talk about the Cybertruck, recalls, issues. Anything else I'm missing?
Not that I can think of. It sounds like a very Australian episode. It's truck-centric.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, well, we're going to call them our own, aren't we? So, all right. Well, to get started with the car sales, so the data I've seen is really in the US, but the Aussie market isn't too far behind them. And it's in terms, what I've seen is the report saying that the growth in demand is slowing. So there's still demand there. It's still pegging along nicely, but it's not growing at the same rate. And manufacturers the companies selling the cars, so the car yards, their stock on hand is increasing, and they're going to get motivated to start selling these cars. The reports out of the States is that your traditional petrol and diesel cars, they typically have about 60 days worth of stock.
Yep.
And your electric cars over 100 might even be close to 150, thereabouts.
Yeah, well, I've heard through car dealers that you never want to keep stock more than sort of 60 days. 60 days is a hard limit.
Yep.
But yeah, I hadn't really heard this, but it does make sense. I think a lot of people have over the last year have probably had spending limits or cost of living increases.
Yep.
And that's really changed how they're looking at buying cars. And if people aren't buying cars, the stock gets more available, and suddenly people have to start discounting what they've already got on hand.
That's it. And I suppose we want to talk today, and we want to touch on what can you do to improve the price that you're buying your car for. Yeah. So have you got any tips on this one?
We might leave that to our tips and tricks segment at the end.
Okay, all right.
A little bit of a teaser for now, but
cool.
Speaking of new cars, we're seeing a lot of stuff coming out with the Cybertruck.
Yep. So Cybertruck, I think they're starting to pop out in the States. I don't know what their status is here in Australia, but one question I've got is, what is the tyre situation? So you buy your Cybertruck, it's cool as hell, but you want to replace a tyre. How are you going to get it?
Yeah, so Matt brought this up with me, and I've done a little bit of Googling and a little bit of research this morning. Apparently the size on them is a 285/65 R20, which is a really big rim. And if you look at the tyres that are on them from the factory, they're actually custom moulded. The sidewall is moulded to fit the hubcaps of the Tesla as well, which is kind of stupid.
Yeah.
So maybe Erwin can put a photo of that.
Yeah.
As well.
Now, hubcaps a thing. They're coming back in fashion.
Well, they're low drag hubcaps.
Okay. All right.
It's ironic because the wheels underneath the hubcaps actually look way better than the hubcaps do. So they're a low drag hubcap, but they're on a really obscure size tyre. And I called up a tyre shop that I used to work at, and apparently they've never heard of this size, and there's no way that they're going to be able to get them.
So they got back to you, yep.
Yeah, so it might be one of those situations where you can only get the factory Goodyear tyre on them again. Yeah,
okay.
A bit crazy.
Yeah, so maybe you have to go back to the manufacturer or wait until the market catches up, because they haven't even been sold here yet.
Yeah, and I wonder what the prices are going to be. Like when when the Countach and the some of those other old Italian sports cars came out where they only had one tyre size that would fit them.
Yep.
Manufacturers had to keep making that single tyre for 20 years or something.
Wow.
And towards the end of the life, the price per tyre got ridiculous, $1,500 per tyre or something.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy.
Cybertruck.
Cybertruck, okay, so we're talking about Cybertruck tyres, a bespoke size, 20-inch, which to me sounds like it's like not a, what's the wall,
65.
It's
Still
bad for driving.
a big sidewall, but
Yeah,
the
big sidewall, so that's good for forward
but the
driving.
hubcaps sit over the edge of the tyre by about 2.5 inch. So when you look at it, maybe when you're airing down a little bit, you're going to run a really big risk of
pop it off,
hitting the hubcap, damaging that, and I wonder what they're going to be worth as well.
Yeah, we'll find a picture and slap it up there of the tyre of the Cybertruck.
I did see as well a review of the Cybertruck by Jason something. I think it was through Haggerty.
Jason Bourne?
No,
Bourne Identity? No.
I wish. But apparently the front on them is so sharp that he was walking past it and cut himself.
Ah, really?
Yeah, because the panels come.
Was he 90 years old?
No, he's 40 or something.
Oh, okay.
And no, apparently it's a really big problem.
Edge.
And it's actually something that I've seen or heard reports about recently. Vehicles, especially in America, getting really high bonnets.
Yep.
And they're also getting really sharp corners. So pedestrian impact deaths are the highest they've been in 40 years. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing, because like the design is so based on pedestrian impact standards that they need to hit.
Yeah, well, apparently
How managed to get that through?
not for America. Apparently they don't have the same pedestrian impact standards that Europe and maybe Australia does. So
I know the solution though. It's going to be easy.
Yep.
Is buy some tennis balls, cut a little hole in them, and just like what you do with your
with a walker.
Hey?
Just with a walker, with your granddad's walker.
Oh, use your walker a little bit more steady, but tennis balls on the edges and boom.
Yep. No,
pool noodle.
Oh, you could put get 1980s American rubber bumpers and just put them on all the shops.
Yeah, that's right.
That'll make the car look really good.
Yeah, that'll be the solution. I can see someone doing it. Probably someone in Japan, I reckon.
Yeah, so it's real weird because the pedestrian impact stuff, apparently if the bonnet height is over 40 inches, which is 1.3 metres, 1.4 metres.
Yep.
The risk of death is significantly higher.
Right, okay, yep.
So
the head's going to hit something, I guess.
Yeah, so all of our new utes and all the new American trucks and stuff, apparently really bad for pedestrian safety.
Ah, things are massive, aren't they?
Yeah.
So we're seeing a lot of like Dodge Rams and Chevy Silverados and what else? The Toyota Tundras and these sort of cars coming onto the market.
Yeah.
And there was another one that you were telling me that's coming on to the market pretty soon as well, which is, I suppose, is not a truck, but it's decent size.
Which one was this?
The Ford, the Mustang.
Oh, the Mach-E.
Mustang.
Yeah. So I've seen ads around Brisbane now for the Mach-E, which is a electric Mustang crossover. I don't know.
If you own a Mustang, how do you feel about them recycling that name into something like that?
Call it the Puma Sport. You know the like really sleek, really kind of hideous but quite sleek sports coupes that Ford had in the 90s and 2000s?
Yeah, the Puma, yeah. I remember them. They were pretty handy little things for a little four-banger,
Yeah, recycle that name. Because it looks...
Well, they already did.
It looks kind of like the Puma anyway.
Yeah.
It's got that kind of like melted plastic look about it.
Someone played with the lighter too long and there's your car.
That's why you're not allowed to have kids around a Mach-E anymore. You'll go out and the bumpers will be on the ground.
Yeah. That's part of the lithium life, isn't it? But they're a seriously quick car, and so is a Cybertruck, in a straight line at least.
Yeah, I saw some reports about that, and apparently the Cybertruck's holding its battery life a lot better from like the performance degradation from like 80% to 30% battery is not as significant as a lot of other manufacturers.
Oh, okay, yep. So they've got better battery tech than the other ones out there?
I don't know if it's going to be better battery tech or just like better management, or
Yep.
they're willing to work the battery harder.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
But my money with Tesla would not be on them having the best tech. It would be them pushing the boundary somewhere.
I'm seeing winter in the States at the moment, and I'm seeing a lot of reports of Teslas having issues with their battery. I think it's their battery charging.
Yeah.
Have you heard this?
Yeah, I saw something pop through my feed the other day, but I mean, if you talk to anyone who's a little bit electronically minded, they'll tell you that battery performance suffers in extreme heat and extreme cold.
Yep.
And
what they're going through the extreme cold right now.
What does climate change net us? Extreme heat and extreme cold.
Yeah, well, we're going through a cycle of some sort.
Yeah.
But it's a tricky one. And the thing I was seeing is that before you charge in the extreme temperature that they're experiencing at the moment, you've got to go through some sort of other cycle to prep it.
Like a heating cycle.
Maybe it's a heating cycle. Yeah.
It's funny.
Like a rejuvenation cycle. It's probably heating.
It's really, really funny to say that, because they've probably got an electric. They've got an electric water pump to cool the batteries down.
Yep.
Maybe they've got a heat cycle in that as well.
Yeah.
It's really funny though, because old diesel trucks and old diesel tractors and stuff had the exact same problem. They wouldn't start in the cold.
Yep.
The fuel, diesel in particular, turns gelatinous, and the oil gets too thick. So, especially in the cold countries, Canada and Russia and Serbia and places like that. Tasmania. Yeah. They actually, throughout the 40s to 80s or whatever, they would set like little fires under the trucks to warm the diesel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I saw a post on Reddit the other day, which was someone had like a diesel heater with a snorkel that they could scoot under the truck to warm up the fuel.
Yeah, they're ready to go.
Yeah, so
look, and if you live in those conditions, you got to do it.
Yeah, maybe that's what the Tesla needs, is a diesel heater with a snorkel.
Yeah. You just see the smoke plume going up beside your house or something like that.
Yeah, crazy. Look, I would love to own an EV one day.
Yep.
Maybe soon. I don't think they've quite got it 100% yet, and that more worries me. I'd have a hybrid pretty quick.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
I wouldn't.
I'm happy to sit back and watch on the other ones.
Yeah.
My old man's got one, and I give him a hard time about it, but I'll be interested to see how that comes. I mean, it's good now, but how's it going to be later on in its life and its resale and
service?
So,
That's what worries me the most.
Mm-hmm.
Service and then a little bit of range anxiety, but not so much.
Yeah, no, it doesn't seem too bad. He keeps telling me it's not too bad anyway.
Yeah, well, if he gets, 200 k's a tank or 300 k's a tank,
a lot more than that. Yeah.
All he's got to do is go to work in the shops and stuff. It's not so bad, is it?
Yep. No, some shopping centres have free charging, so that works out pretty good for him. But I think it was Kia. The price to replace a battery was, I think it was over 30 grand or something like that.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
So you just don't want to be in that position.
The same with the, I can't remember where I heard this, but the McLaren P1s and such, they've had a lot of battery failures, and they are struggling to replace them, I think.
Right.
So maybe I'll have to do some research on that.
Yeah, we might come back to that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, another episode. All right. So we briefly mentioned CES, and more and more cars are merging with consumer electronics.
Yeah.
The smarter they get, the more electrified they get, and they're starting to get announcements at the CES show, which is cool. We like to see what's new and what the future might hold. And one of the different looking ones was Honda O Series.
Yeah. So
what was your take on that?
Is this like an Odyssey revamp?
It looks like it. There wasn't too much information that I could find on it quickly, but it looks that they're calling it a saloon, but it's a van.
Yeah, it is. It's a, what's the Hyundai van, the Staria? It's a Staria competitor.
Yeah. With extra stars.
Yeah, call it a saloon. It's a long wheelbase high roof wagon or van.
Yeah. And then we were watching the video of it, and it's got these translucent panels, glass, but they can turn on the privacy on and off.
Yeah, so it looked like in the rear, especially in the rear section, you could have like see-through glass or transparent, opaque. Sorry.
Yeah, opaque. Yeah, so they must hit a switch and it goes opaque,
Yeah.
and then no one can see in. So
Yeah,
that's a pretty cool
like,
feature.
like a fancy hotel bathroom.
Pretty much.
I wonder how that works if you get any other color than black though, because I've never seen one of those chromoluminescent glass panels. I've never seen one of those do any other color but black or green. So
Yeah. Well, maybe that's the color choice.
Yeah.
It's like Model T. Any color as long as it's black.
you did see though, it looked like it had a screen across the whole front
Yeah,
bar
the
as
grille.
well. Yeah.
So electric cars, no need for a grille because the cooling setup is a little bit different. And you look at some of these electric cars and they're just, I don't know, they're just not what I remember as being a car without a grille. Like it's like an identifier of the car. You know, BMW's got their grille. Everyone does different things with grills. And it feels like EV cars lose a little bit of character.
Yeah, I think from what I see in EV cars, they get stuck in this situation of trying to be an EV car. So they try to look like what they think an EV car should look like. But the first generation of EV cars, the Tesla Roadster and such, they were cars with EV drivetrains in them. They looked pretty good.
Yeah.
It's only in recent times that we've ended up with this melted plastic sort of look. And ironically, I don't think it actually improves the aerodynamics that much.
Oh, okay. Yep. Well, so this Honda, it's got like a faux grille, and it's a screen, and it looks like it in the demo they gave.
Yeah, it's got that like infinity mirror look to it.
Yeah. I thought it was a great idea. Something different anyway. Dress up the car. We'll see what comes through if they release it. But yeah, that's pretty cool. And then the other thing was the Hyundai. Hyundai coming out with a taxi.
Yeah. Is that what it is? It's taxi?
I watched the movie Black Hawk Down, and it looks closer to a Black Hawk than a taxi.
Yeah, it's an eVTOL, right? So electronic vertical takeoff landing.
Oh, well done.
Yeah. Crazy little bit of kit. Well, not little. It actually it's like a full-size helicopter. And I think that's kind of what you would call it if you didn't have this like EV naming scheme, as you'd call it a helicopter.
It is, yeah, it's just a helicopter. It looks like maybe the propellers can rotate. Yeah. So a bit of a mix.
So they're looking at using this as like a taxi service. That'll be pretty interesting.
Yeah, so I think they're trying to get approval by 25 and get them in production 28. We'll see. I mean, in my time, I've watched Beyond 2000 and all those sort of shows when I was young, and I remember these sort of things popping up. They are popular mechanic magazines, and there's always something like this popping up, and they never really eventuate.
Yeah.
Not in popular sort of...
Strangely, I don't have as much of an issue with the whole eVTOL thing as I thought I would.
No, yeah, get them up out of my way so I can get to work quicker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, like, imagine you're having a holiday in Brisbane City, and you can get an eVTOL service that takes you from Brisbane City to airport for $40 in 10 minutes or something.
Or to the Gold Coast, or I don't know what the range is. But,
maybe their top speed's like 150, 200, and they've got like certain routes that they run on, which
take you out to Morton Island, or
that'd be great.
Yeah, lots of cool things.
Especially if you get like one of those bad sea days out there.
Yeah, you don't want to be on the water.
Amazing.
Yeah.
The only thing that's going to be answered, and I'm like, I trust Hyundai to do this a lot more than some other companies, is I don't think these are piloted. I think these are autonomous.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Or a lot of them are. So they'll have like set routes and they fly themselves. And I'm more okay with them flying themselves than I am with cars driving themselves, because there's a lot less risks in the air. There's a lot less
things to hit.
Yeah,
less
exactly.
trees to hit in the air.
Once you're above the buildings, you can sort of...
You're pretty good.
Yeah.
Cool. So what would you prefer, the Hyperloop or Hyundai's air taxi service?
I think I'd prefer.
As a transportation method, solution, let's call it.
See, I'm a bit into trains, so the idea of a like ultra fast train system really gets me. But I think that I'd prefer for Hyundai's eVTOL. I'd like high speed rail, but I'd prefer Hyundai's eVTOL to.
High speed rail, very expensive.
Yeah, but once it's installed, the value you get out of it is insane.
But you need like massive population. So Brisbane's population, what's our population at the moment? Like
3.5?
3.5? We might need to triple that or something like that.
I'm not sure. I think you might find that it's actually like not as, the population density is not as heavy as you'd think.
Okay.
I'm sure there's plenty of studies we could look at.
Yeah, to make it worth it.
Yeah, there's some sort of
cheap, but totally.
Some sort of blog post I can look at.
Yeah.
But yeah, at least if we could get between the three major cities and replace like...
so like Melbourne, Canberra and Sydney.
That's where all the politicians are. That's the most likely. That's the most likely to get it because that's what the politicians would do.
Yeah, that's right. That's where the...
But I mean, look, if you take the simple maths, is a bullet train does like 280, 300.
Almost as fast as me.
Yeah. You can run that, can't you?
Yeah, on the Monday.
The distance from Brisbane to Sydney is like 900,000 k's. That's 3.5 hours. It takes an hour 20 in the air, plus an hour each side at the airports, plus travel to and from the airport. If we could replace that with a train, that'd kind of be amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, and it would be a lot better for the environment overall.
Yep. Okay. Some of the trains that they have, Europe, Asia, pretty impressive, and it'd be cool if we had something like that.
We did a couple of travel days on our Japan trip where we did over 1,000 k's and still had plenty of time to like do sightseeing.
Yeah, nice. Okay.
Like didn't go on a plane once.
Cool.
Besides getting there and back, but yeah, trains it is. But I'm turned on to it.
I'm the other way around. I reckon the helicopter idea is fantastic.
No, I love the helicopter. The one thing that shits me, my uncle's a bus person.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
Flexibility.
That's what he says.
The infrastructure's already there.
Yeah, well, I guess so.
Then you just plonk a bus there. It's just buy a bus.
Yeah. So it can So it can be stuck in traffic with the rest of us.
Yeah, well, you got to keep up to date with your road.
No, well, I mean, look, the busways and stuff we've got really make a difference. So I am
particularly on the south side.
I'm not against buses, but like in my heart, I think trains are cool.
Trains, yeah. Oh, I mean, if they're going 300 k's an hour,
yeah.
I'll take any mode of transport. I'll ride a horse if it went that fast.
I would not go on a bus that went 300. You wouldn't catch me on a Brisbane City bus.
Snaky bus? That game? I haven't played it yet, but I've seen it.
Oh, the new metro, the new electric metro bus. The three carriage one.
I saw him at a car show not too long ago.
Yep.
Yeah, they're demonstrating it.
Yeah, I wouldn't get on that if it went 300.
Yeah, that would be a bit hairy. It's a bit like watching that movie Speed.
It starts getting
the time.
No, I've seen that one.
You've seen Speed?
Just not Seinfeld. Oh, I don't know.
This guy. It's Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock.
Oh, it is Keanu Reeves. The bus can't go under 50, right?
Yeah, 50. Yeah. It's a little bit lower than 300.
Yeah. A little bit. Have you ever seen the follow-up, Speed 2?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Where they can't stop the boat?
I don't remember the details.
So stupid.
I didn't see it. Yeah, no, Speed 1 was the memorable one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right, well, I think we've covered that one. So let's move on to recalls, but we're going to make a little bit of a change and make it recalls and known issues.
Yeah, just for this episode.
You're out there in the field. You're seeing things.
Yeah.
So it's good to share this information.
Yeah, it's a really weird one. I've not seen this before, and all of a sudden I've seen two of them in a week. Subaru clutch fork failures.
Yep.
You ever hear about this?
No, clutch fork. No.
No.
Come across it.
So apparently the earlier EJ motors with the manual transmission, the pressed steel clutch fork weakens and either pushes, it's got like a pivot ball on it. It weakens through that and pushes through the pivot ball, or breaks through the pressed steel molding completely.
Wow.
So if you look at it on a side profile, it does like a little M shape, which is for structure, and it snaps on the sides.
Oh wow.
So never heard of this before. 10 years in the trade and 2 in a week.
2 in a week. Wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
And it's really shit. Subaru must have known it was a problem or something, because if you look at the like 90, 97, 96s to 04, they seem to have this type that fails. And then from like 04 to 05, if you've got like a WRX, they've got a complete steel or sintered metal part with a pivot bush on it.
Yep.
So much better design.
Problem solved. So is it easy to upgrade if you've got the older model to that setup?
It's not easy to upgrade to that setup, but there are a bunch of companies in the aftermarket that are making a complete like billet aluminium part, which will be a lot stronger. The only problem is that we're seeing is it's a gearbox out to do it.
Oh, yeah. Subaru things.
Yeah, head gaskets and gearboxes. Fucking horrible. CV
cool
shafts.
cars, love them to bits.
No, I do. You've had a couple?
I've had a couple of it.
You had a WRX?
Well, we had the Foz that we were, you and I, mostly you, but working on, and Logan as well, and then years ago I used to have a Brumby, and that thing was cool as hell.
Yeah, cool and crap, pretty close.
I mean, it had mechanical issues. I'm not gonna lie, but when it worked, it was fantastic.
I've been burned. One of our early customers has a Brumby, and it was it's been rough around the edges for a while. So it's only just like getting some stuff done on it. It is a cool car. It makes good noises, and I'm sure it's plenty capable.
So he's still got it?
Yeah, he does. Which is, it's weird. It's rare to see those on the road now. What was the other thing? The WRXs. The Foz. That's been sold on now. Yeah,
so young Connor at work, he's bought it off us. So he's doing just as much work on it as what we did, but in a shorter time frame. So he's doing great.
Yeah, I think last time I saw him, he thought he might have done head gaskets on it.
Yep. That's a Subaru owner's constant thought.
Yeah. I think it turned out there was something else that was less.
No, I think it's running pretty good at the moment. There was something he has to do to just get it ready to. He's gonna daily it for a little while he starts working on the other guy. He's doing Preza as well.
Yeah.
He's gonna make it his daily for a little bit by the sounds.
Yeah, I've always loved those Turbo Foresters, especially the SF series. Yep. That like first gen, and when they did the STI variant. But
super cool.
A lot of them are looking pretty beat up and worse for wear now. So
that's the thing. Like the Brumby, there's nothing really that's replaced it. There's nothing out there that matches that profile. Small ute, 4-wheel drive, high-low range. Yeah. Nothing's out there.
Yeah.
So guys are trying to keep them alive, and the ones that are there are either really, really good, or they've been on a farm and they need some work.
Yeah, and I think you end up with a lot more on the farm.
Oh, they're great farm vehicles.
Yeah. So Subaru clutch fork, shit design. In the bin.
Nothing less.
Alapabel in the bin. Alacabel.
Am I pronouncing it wrong?
I was near enough. I'll have it.
So add a French tinge to it. I don't even watch that stuff, mate.
No. There was another recall that we saw pretty recently as well, which kind of shocked me. Toyota's problems.
Yes. Yeah, well, even Toyota has recall problems. But this one happened to 1.85 million Toyotas.
Yeah, that's probably just the amount that are on the road in Brisbane.
Yeah.
No, it's RAV4s.
Yeah.
2013 to 2018. Like, that must be just about all of them.
That's they're pumping them out.
Yeah.
That little factory for the RAV4s must be going gangbusters right now.
It's like rabbits.
Yeah. Yeah. But, so it's the battery.
Yeah, battery tie down.
Battery's loose.
Yeah.
And you know, I've done a blog on this one recently. You want your car and your battery and everything to last longer. Batten down those hatches. You want it to be safe and secure.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's such a big fire risk as well, because as soon as it arcs out on something...
Yeah, could you imagine?
Yeah,
Yep.
like the storage capability, 600 amps odd, that's enough to weld something.
Yep.
And when they go, they weld themselves to something, they'll start a fire.
So your connections are going to be getting loose. The battery itself, the batteries aren't really designed for... I mean, they're designed for vibration.
Yeah.
But there are other batteries designed for high vibration, typically like a marine battery or something like that.
Well, they're not designed to be like jumped up and down in their little...
Loose. Yeah. So it is important too. And that's a tip for any car.
Yeah.
Check your battery and make sure it's not loose.
Yeah, a certain Porsche that we've been working on, it had the battery was a little bit loose and it started arcing out on the battery holder tin, and that's inside the car. So we've had a temporary fix for now.
Yep.
But long term, I think we'll have to find a good hold down method for it.
Yep. Cool. The Abarths that we had, they had mine at least had like a strap. Did yours have the strap?
Yeah, weird design.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit odd too.
Yeah, and the other weird thing on the Abarths is the negative terminal has like a cam lever. You know the old bicycle seats where you could like adjust it?
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, same on the negative terminal on the Abarth.
Yeah, a few cars with that. Yeah.
So just weird Fiat things.
But yeah, I think we changed on the Abarth. I had changed it around.
Yeah.
Just because we put a different size battery in there and made some modifications, so we sorted that issue out. But it's worthwhile looking at that for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Make sure that the battery's not going to jump around and cause a fire.
Now, what else? We came across Tesla Model 3s have been stopped.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Regenerative braking. That's why they stopped. No,
it's too strong.
No, so apparently they haven't been recalled, but they have stopped sales.
Press the pause button.
Yeah, they've paused sales on the new Model 3 in Australia.
Yep.
They say it's due to an ADR compliance thing, which is Australian design regulations, if you've not heard of them.
Yep.
And basically every car has to meet a certain minimum standard, right?
To be sold here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Tesla won't admit to why it's been stopped. They just say that there was a breach that they're going to fix within the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
But there's some theories going around the internet. Apparently it's ADR 34. All rear seats need to have an accessible tether point, top tether point for mounting child seats.
Yep.
In the previous gen Model 3, there was a little flap in the parcel shelves so you could get to it.
Okay.
And in the current gen, they've taken the flap out.
They did the famous flap delete.
Yeah. Flap delete, and now you can't get to the top tether for the center seat.
Yep. So, question is, do you buy a Model 3 or do you have a kid?
I think I'd have the Model 3.
Yeah, that would become your kid.
A bit less road noise.
Yeah.
With the Model 3. But actually, that article that I was reading about that said that one of the BYD vehicles suffered from the same problem.
Ah, okay.
So maybe it's just something that manufacturers aren't super aware of locally.
Yep. Is that the BYD porpoise?
Is that really what they've called it?
That's dolphin, isn't it?
Oh,
I'm trying to think of what name it could be. What other names you could name a whole car lineup just after sea creatures.
Yeah, the seal.
The seal?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not dolphin, it's seal, isn't it? The seal. Yeah, anyway. The crab. That'd be like the drift version.
If you get a bunch of them together, do you have crabs?
Crabs, yep.
No, have you seen Neil the seal? It's this fat seal that's terrorising a Tasmanian town.
Oh, really? No.
Yeah. Good on him too.
Yeah.
Give him hell.
He's a big BYD fan.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Named himself after it. Yeah.
Oh dear. All right, so that's Tesla. We might circle back around to tips and tricks. So we're talking about the car sales turning into a buyer's market.
Yeah.
So what tips and tricks do you have when you're buying a car?
Yeah, so if you
Get that
can't
price down.
if you can't buy a new Model 3 because of this, then you've got to buy something used.
Yep.
I think the biggest thing is just find out what you need from a car first is my best tips, right?
Yep.
Well, you can look at car buying as two separate sort of things. It's selecting the car and finding the right one of that car.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think too many people get stuck on this we need a big SUV train.
Yep.
So I like to sort of categorize, do I need a bunch of space? Do I need an open tray? Do I need third row air conditioning? Do you need four-wheel drive? Do you ever use four-wheel drive?
Yep.
And look, for most people, I'd actually say Toyota Corolla is the car that you need.
Yeah, yep.
And then as far as buying a car goes, do a bit of research about some common problems, and then trust your gut a little bit when you first see the car.
Yep.
Check for like really obvious flaws like unmatched tyres, surface rust.
Yep.
Open the bonnet and see if there's like oil and crud everywhere.
So if you look at the car and you find oil, crud, bit of rust.
Yep. Look at the car.
You just go to the owner, say, shouldn't be 10k, should be 8 because of these things.
Yeah. Well, maybe it should be 6.
6, okay.
Yeah. But I think maybe the best thing to do is if you've got a mechanic that you trust, ask for a pre-purchase inspection, right? Because I went out with a couple of friends recently, and the stuff that we're seeing that has had a roadworthy, but is just absolute trash underneath.
Yep.
It's absolutely shocking. So what did I see? Not long ago, I saw a Mazda 2 that had like bald tires, leaking wheel cylinders.
Yep.
So the brakes were like leaking, the tires were bald, and it had been crashed, and there was like weld repairs along the chassis rails.
Wow. Okay. All right.
I saw.
I mean the tire one. That's something anyone can pick up.
Yeah, straight away.
Look at the tire. Just check the tread.
Yep.
Yep.
I saw a Nissan Tiida last week, and I asked about the roadworthy situation on it, and he said, "Oh yeah, the car's good. I just have to write the roadworthy myself when I'm ready to sell it." That's a red flag for me.
Yeah.
The door handle was half hanging off, and the tires were all bald.
Yeah.
So we didn't even look under the car. We just walked away.
Okay.
So be prepared to walk away. There's
that's a good tip. Yeah.
23 million registered vehicles in Australia.
Yep.
There's going to be another one for sale unless it's something really rare like a Ford Puma that hasn't been crashed.
And I suppose if it's not pressing, if you can take your time, you can spot the deals or the good quality cars as they pop up.
Yeah.
If you are pressured into buying the car in a short time frame, you're probably more likely to be exposed to a lesser quality, or you just got lesser choice in general.
Yeah. What are your tips and tricks? You've bought plenty of used cars now.
Yeah, well, don't buy in the bath is probably the first one.
Yep.
That turned out to be very expensive. I'm colourblind, so one thing that I've always done is I'll choose the car that's mechanically in better shape.
Yep.
Over a colour or a trim or something like that. I mean, there might be some things that I look for, but colour's always the last choice for me.
Yeah.
And that's got me cars that have been in pretty good mechanical condition. So I'm lucky there.
Yeah, I'd say the other thing is look for like common problems based on the age of a vehicle as well, right? Yep. Like I wouldn't go buying an E36 BMW right now because they're all getting their radiators and such replaced.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
But being colourblind, have you ever put the battery terminals on backwards?
Well, black and red I'm pretty good with, so that's not But like if there's a whole bunch of wires, if there's a wiring loom and I'm working on that, I'm just not confident.
Yeah.
There's a chance I might get red and green wrong.
Yeah.
You
wouldn't like
but
you wouldn't like the Ducato vans. I think they used red as the ground.
Oh, yeah. Some of them do opposites and
red as ground and green. I think the Ducatos used like red as ground and green as power.
Yep.
It's horrible.
So in those cases, you really rely pre-plugged ones, so you can.
Yeah.
You know, the manufacturer's done the plug, so you just got to plug it and you go from there.
That's pretty good.
But I'm not really afraid to play around with wiring at the same time, which I'm not sure. I've never had an issue, but not sure if it's a good or bad thing. But yeah, I know my limits.
It's good to be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better to be cautious and like confident instead of confident and dumb.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But
I
think that's most of my tips and tricks. Is like, it's hard to spot. It's hard to spot whether a car is inherently good or bad. It's pretty easy to spot whether a person's gonna like try and rip you off a little bit.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. And look, if it's on a marketplace or something like that, they typically have a rating.
Yeah.
For me, if it's anything less than 4, I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even if it's like a low 4, I'm questioning them. The other thing is just research the market. Look at plenty of different cars, whether it's car sales, marketplace, Red Book. Sometimes Red Book's listings seem a bit odd.
Yeah, they are.
But it's something to go by. If they have a low listing and the person's after a high price, you can say, well, the Red Book's this value, and just try it on. Just ask for a lower price. And
used cars in negotiating market. Like even
new cars. I mean, they might not want to drop their price, but they might be able to throw extra things in if it's seat covers, floor mats, tinting, paint protection, those sort of things.
The best one I've ever heard is if you do all of that, you negotiate on all that stuff, and then right at the end you go, oh, by the way, I've got a trade-in. Can you take $4,000 off for my trade-in?
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
so, should we move on to the products?
Yeah. All right. Well, just got a couple of products here. What shall we start off on?
We should probably start by spoofing Yeti coolers and such. You're a big fan
represent.
Do you sell them down at the shop?
No.
Oh, have to get them on board next time.
But no, we do like using them. Good range. But,
let's jump into this Type S stuff.
Type S.
I've been looking at this stuff online for 4 years now, and I wasn't convinced of the quality. Like at first, I was convinced it might be a shady sort of like shady American company that was buying stuff from China and reselling.
So I can tell you who's bringing it into Australia.
Yep.
It's Brown and Watson, which is the owners, sellers of Nava, Projector.
So they must
probably the biggest aftermarket accessory company in Australia.
They must have a pretty good idea of the quality of them.
Yep.
And I have seen these guys. They've been sticking around, which is better than I can say for a lot of stuff.
Yep.
And they're on Formula Drift. They're on all this sort of stuff. So I'm ready. And
it's a trend that's done. It's gone full circle.
Yeah.
So before you were born and when I was youngish, there was a movie called Fast and the Furious which came out, and they all had these fantastic lights. So we all went out and bought lights and put neons on our cars, and then neons became LEDs, and then it's sort of the market went quiet.
Yeah, if you keep dating yourself like that, I'll have to call you granddad.
And it's coming back. I don't know. I don't really understand the motivation, but I think maybe I see it at like a lot of nighttime car meets. It's just something to make your car pop.
Yeah, I think
cool.
I think that's what it is. I think all of our car meets now are like 7 p.m. And that it's dark all the time. So something that
or 5 a.m. and it's still kind of dark.
Yeah, it's midwinter.
Yeah.
But yeah, just so long as sex spec doesn't come all the way back. I love sex spec cars.
Yep.
But
Logan used to work at Auto One. He'd bring that back in a heartbeat. All right, so this is the big kit. This is the burger with a lot. 168 inches worth. Anyway, it's the this is their top of the range kit that you can get.
The packaging looks awesome too.
Yeah, I mean they've put some effort into this, and they're not fly-by-nighters, which you're saying. Like they've been around for a while, so you know if you're gonna have issues, you've got someone to go to. Packaging's very neat.
Even like the choice on the foam there, that's like incredible. That's a really high density foam. You don't just get that.
Well, when I put this on my car, I'll give you the phone. This looks like your control box. Probably does the Bluetooth talking to your phone. So these Type S kits, for the most part, if not all, Bluetooth controlled. So you can do all these lighting sequences and whatever. So it's fused, which is always a good sign. You got your red and your black.
Yep.
And then multiple connections for each run of LED cable that you've got.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at these at the LED strips themselves, so I don't know if these are the under bonnet or under sill or whatever.
They look weatherproof.
Yeah, they're awesome, and a really high brand, high quality double-sided tape, which you're pretty surprised to see.
Mm-hmm.
Decent quality, not the best, but decent quality looking connectors, like weatherproof connectors.
Yep. So they're threaded sealing connectors.
It actually each one's marked as where it's meant to go on the car as well, which is great.
Good for installation.
So, yeah, I'm pretty impressed with that.
So that's the extension cord. You've got those. Got some stickers. Got to have the stickers.
Shall we lift up the box?
Keep going on it. Oh, this is a guide for the app.
Yeah.
And just probably covers a couple of different kits.
So, and each layer on the box says exactly where it's meant to go as well.
All right.
Pretty cool.
Oh, look! They even have a high brake light as well, which you can connect to your tail light.
Yeah, that's
cool. That's that one, is it?
That's this one.
Wow, I might go drifting after I put this on my car. Yep, and then you can choose on the app. You can choose from the spectrum of colours what colour you want it to be. So very cool. All right, let's keep going.
So that's that looks like front and rear and your third brake light replacement.
So they all have their own little controller and power connections.
So they must be like individually addressable as well. So you can go, hey, I want my front and rear one's pink, my sides blue, and my third brake light can be green.
Yep, all the same colour really, but but they're configurable. Third brake light. So this kit really has everything in it, doesn't it? It's got a third brake light there.
Shocked by the way it's actually laid out. And
then this is, if you can see that, it's got 3M tape, which is the tape you want to use on the outside of a car. It's got pretty durable looking covers over the lights.
Just trying to see if I can see any of the component names on there as well.
Yep. This is your high brake light.
No, I'm shocked.
And the layers. I think we've done it all. Yep.
When I first saw this company on TikTok and such, I thought it was smoke and mirrors. But I'm really shocked by this. This is quite the impressive bit of kit.
No, it's durable kit. So they've got this is like an external kit aside from the high brake light. I'm supposing. Well,
I think
that would be external as well.
There might even be another layer in there.
No.
I'll
have a quick look unless I messed up. But so they've got that, but they also have a big range and includes interior lights, truck bed lights. So if you want to light up your truck bed, your under where your feet go glow.
The wheel arch. I did see one that they had on their website a while ago was like a bit of stripping, which had like a thin back on it, so you could wedge it in between panel gaps.
Yep.
So you could actually add your ambient lighting into older cars. And I think that's kind of cool.
Yep.
And I can't remember if it was Type S that did it or if it was another company. I'll have to fact check. But they did like the old fiber optic wavy lamps?
Yep.
They did a variant of that which you could run up into your headliner to create the starry night experience.
Yeah, I've seen. I'm not sure. I don't think it was them, but I've seen Bowden. He comes into our store and he's done it on his TikTok to one of his Nissans. I think it's a Nissan.
Yep.
Looks cool as hell. Looks really good.
I want to do. I know it's kind of trashy. I want to do it on the Ute.
On the
Yeah.
Oh dear. So yeah, that's that one. I think we've got some photos, maybe even some movies of or video of these things in action. So
Yeah.
we'll have to dig some up and
Move some of that to the side for now.
Time. So that's that. And the next one is just wanting to grab something that we've learnt a little bit more about recently, and it's soft shackles.
Yep.
So in terms of recovery gear at the moment, you've got your traditional D-shackle and your traditional snatch strap, but you're getting these kinetic snatch straps and these soft shackles.
Yep. So what's the kinetic snatch strap that you've been seeing?
So it's instead of your typical flat weave,
yep,
it's like a cylindrical
sort
weave,
of braided.
Braided.
Yeah.
And it just gives it a little bit of movement, so that when you are pulling someone out, it's not a harsh tug.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit of that.
It's elastic.
Yeah. A little bit, and just enough to reduce the damage you might do when you're trying to get someone out.
Yeah. I've seen.
It's a softer way of doing it, and softer is always, it's going to be a little bit safer on the car.
Yeah.
Less wear and tear.
I have seen these soft shackles as well. I haven't seen one in person yet, but I have seen the consequences of these shackle failures online, and it is terrifying. So anything that's going to reduce. So what's impact force is basically mass times speed or mass times acceleration.
Yep.
Right? And the D shackles, especially rated for recovery, might be 400, 500 grams. And when those snatch straps let go or a D shackle lets go,
yeah, it's a bullet.
Yeah, they can be traveling at like 200 or 300 k an hour or something. I'd say.
Yeah. No,
so
they're very dangerous. So yeah, that's another positive on here. So positives and negatives. So this one, stick it up, but we'll pop it out. Positive and negative. So you've got those positives. The negative sometimes is in these weaves throughout its life, gets some dirt in there, and the dirt can wear and tear on it. So you need to be aware of that and replace them possibly a little bit more often than the other ones.
Yeah, I'd rather replace something more often than have a potential bullet though.
Yeah.
I think.
So they're certainly gaining popularity out there in the market, and so these guys have done a good job. They've got a sleeve on there to protect from the dirt that I was mentioning before, and geez, I might need a bit of lube for this one, but anyway, that goes through there, and that's your shackle.
And what's this little secondary string for?
Is it just a tether or something like that?
Might be a safety tether, just like as it's pulling apart. But also that thing you're talking about, having dust getting in it, provides it with a nice little dry bag, so that the dust doesn't get built up on it and such. And yeah, actually you should be able to remove the pull that back quite easily, so you can inspect it. Not a bad design. So I've been meaning to hit up either you guys or Bursons or whoever I need to. I know, they're just next door to me. I've been meaning to hit up you guys about getting a tow strap or a snatch strap to keep on the truck, because I've had a couple of situations where I've had to move things and didn't have the right equipment. So we'll have to chat about that in the future.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a Mini with a dead clutch that I had to move up a driveway.
And then you use your car to
tow it.
Okay.
Yeah, which I didn't do. If my insurance is watching now, that never happened.
Yeah, but sometimes you're caught in situations that are off the road.
Yeah.
You need to find a solution.
I needed to having it where it was. I needed to make it safer for myself, and to do that, I had to move it a little bit. So with the help of the owner, we towed it. 40 meters.
Yep. Cool. Yeah. So these guys do a good full drive range. Hardcore have come out with a full drive range of recovery gear recently, which is looking really good as well. They've got a great range for a newcomer. And what else is there? There are other strap manufacturers out there that do some pretty bespoke ones as well, with big ranges. So if you're doing something left of field, maybe a more commercial environment like what you're in or something like that.
Yeah.
What are they called? Just straps. Just straps. You
I haven't seen those. We'll check them out.
It looks like their website's from the 90s, but they actually have a really good range. So yeah, there's things out there.
Not sure that you'll ever get this through that hole. I've been trying for 5 minutes.
That's the bad thing about this product.
Yeah, I think this is pretty cool. I love it.
There must be a way. Let's have a look.
Maybe you got to...
He's done it.
Yeah, I know.
That guy's done it. Easy.
Oh,
What's your problem?
I did want to say, one thing to be careful of with these, I think you're not meant to wrap these around a tow bar.
Oh, hell no.
So, not around the tow ball because it can
no.
just slip up.
Yeah, until a tow ball comes loose and then you got even heavier
so
projectile.
Use a rated recovery point.
I think I know your problem. That guy there, he can put it on.
He's got a beard. He's manly.
And you shaved.
Oh, you try it then. You've got a bit of a beard.
No, not as long as his.
Yeah, that's what it is. You've got to be a mountain man to be able to recover a car.
Mountain men only for the mean mothers. All right, guys. So thank you. Episode 12 signing out. It's great to catch up and throw some comments and tell me about how bad my jokes are or how bad Lachlan's beard's looking at the moment. And we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, check out Matt and the team at Auto One Browns Plains. We're
trying to get more active with videos and all that sort of stuff, so bear with us. So.
Go and buy one of these soft shackles from him. He'll give you a good price, I'm sure.
And
check out us at Cashy Australia on everything.
Just got you doing some work on the MX-5.
Yeah.
So thank you. That was awesome.
Yep, we've got a whole bunch of videos coming out as well. So we've still got a couple of team up videos we've got to do. We've got to do that screen.
Yeah, sold out.
Yeah, but
I had a look before. I can't.
As soon as you get another shipment, I'll bring Britt's car down and we'll do a back-to-back.
Done.
Cool.
Actually, we even have a different one, which is in the form of a mirror.
An overhead. That's kind of cute.
It's got a it's got a dash cam built into it, reverse camera built into it. What else does it do?
Spend a couple of hours and do a super shootout.
Yeah, and that one is a jump up in price because I think you might even be able to put a 4G SIM in it and do other cool things.
Yeah, crazy.
So it really does a lot. So that one I was eyeing off as well. So I'm not sure which direction I'll go, but yeah, we'll have a play.
All right, we'll see you next time.
Cool.